Lockdown L'Jarius Sneed is officially a Tennessee Titan after Ran Carthon makes another big move, trading for the Chiefs' star cornerback. And now, man, this cornerback room looks pretty dangerous. We appreciate you watching here on Titans Today. I'm your host, Jace Andrews, and I'm telling you what, if you're as excited about the Sneed trade as I am, then I want you to get down in the comment section and spam me because, man, this was so nice to read that Adam Schefter tweet. Hit like nothing else. And man, I'm just happy for what's happening in Nashville. So if you're excited just like I am, go down there, type me, do it 5 times, do it 10 times. I don't care. I'm just excited. I'm going to be down there typing it with y'all. Let's look at the official alignment of this trade. So the Titans did receive L'Jarius Sneed and then a 7th round pick swap. Obviously, Titans giving the Chiefs their 7th round pick at number 221. Chiefs getting a 2025 3rd round pick in exchange for the most part. I think this was a fantastic trade by Ran Carthon because although there are questions for L'Jarius Sneed in terms of his knee and if he will have another stellar year like he did last year, this sets up your cornerback room to be one of the top ones in the National Football League. Chidobe Awuzie, another new signing. I think he will be great. L'Jarius Sneed as your CB1. This secondary, just with the cornerbacks alone, will be fine. I know there's still hope for Roger McCurry to potentially come up and be a nickel and potentially play there. Now, Elijah Mullen played also great last year. I think he could potentially be well there. There's just a lot of really good names on this list. And honestly, some veteran presence with both Sneed and Awuzie. This cornerback room honestly became just lethal with the trade of L'Jarius Sneed. And I truly do feel that. I know that people are sitting here saying, well, do we really think this is going to change the team? And I personally think so. Now, last year's grades for both these guys were pretty good. Chidobe Awuzie and L'Jarius Sneed were honestly solid overall. Obviously, Awuzie, a little bit lower of PFF ranking in terms of overall run defense, pass rush, and coverage, but still solid in all those facets with the Bengals defense that really was struggling. I mean, I don't think there's a thing that I could say to help this, but in some ways, I feel like the defense of the Bengals hurt him a little bit. Now, L'Jarius Sneed was on a top 2 defense in the entire NFL, and he showed it. He was ranked in the top 30 cornerbacks in the National Football League in terms of PFF, had 2 interceptions. And the big thing is he only allowed 1 touchdown throughout the entire year, and it came in the playoffs. He allowed none in the regular season. And I want to stop here because I want to really give a round of applause to Ran Carthon. He continues to step up big, and he continues to show that this is not just a fluke. This is something that he wants to work towards, and he wants this Titans team to be competitive in the AFC South for years to come. I mean, we talk about the moves that he made. This was just one of them, but signing Tony Pollard was a big move. Obviously, Chidobe Awuzie was, in my opinion, a pretty big move. Lloyd Cushenberry to round out the offensive line was a big move. I think you go on, you get Mason Rudolph. I think that's a really good backup option. Obviously, the big signing of Calvin Ridley for 4 years, $92 million. And then, of course, getting a couple guys back like Nick Westbrook-Ikhine to help the wide receiver room, Sebastian Joseph-Day on that defensive line to hopefully help out Jeffrey Simmons in some ways. The moves that he has made have been productive, have been really cost-effective for the most part. I mean, I think L'Jarius Sneed's contract is a steal, and you compare Calvin Ridley, there's just so many good numbers all around here. Now, Sneed this past year was absolutely exceptional. You heard me mention no touchdowns allowed in the regular season, 14 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and the completion percentage and QB rating in the 50s is absolutely exceptional. And I know there's people in there saying, well, there's concerns about his knee, there's concerns about his future. The problem is you can't negate the stats he has put up. The past 2 years, he's been really incredible. 3 interceptions in 2022, 2 in 2023, 11 pass breakups in 2022, 14 in 2023, 5 tackles for loss in both years. And obviously, you don't want your quarterback to have over 100 tackles, but I'm going to associate that with what he was around the ball more than he was giving up anything. And the stats don't say it all. Obviously, the stats are great, and looking at the season-long totals are awesome, but I went even deeper. The game-by-game results when he was covering some of the top receivers in the National Football League were really stellar. I mean, I can't say enough how really exceptional L'Jarius Sneed of a season he had last year. A.J. Brown had 1 reception and 8 yards against him. DJ Moore had 3 receptions for 41 yards. And I mind you, that game was blown out of proportion, so Sneed probably wasn't playing his hardest in the second half. Stephon Diggs, 4 receptions, 24 yards. And Diggs, by the way, played him twice. This was the better game. And then Justin Jefferson, who, again, got hurt in the fourth quarter, but still 3 receptions for 28 yards for what is widely regarded as the best wide receiver in the NFL. Well, I think I'll take that any day. I want you to officially grade the Titans cornerback room after the trade for L'Jarius Sneed. Obviously, Chidobe Awuzie is great. You got Elijah Molden. Is Roger McCreary going to come back and play better than he did last year? Well, now's your time to let us know. Grade it A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comment section what grade are you giving this Titans cornerback room. All right, coming up, what does this mean for the Titans cap space? How much is it going to hit the cap in 2024? And is Ran Carthon done making moves if there is cap room available? Well, we will tell you all that here just in a moment. But before that, I got to tell you about one of our amazing sponsors. And I really tell you, if you have not checked out PrizePicks, you're doing yourself a disservice right now, because if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you're going to get a $100 deposit match. Now, I know football season might be over, but here's the cool thing. The action on the floor and on the diamond are heating up. Now, whether tournament season, obviously, we are right in that, or the fight for playoff home court, there's a lot of amazing things you can put on PrizePicks with different stat types, different sports, and a lot of different categories to go in and put your money on. So obviously it's super easy. You choose 2 or more players. You can go 2 to 6. Pick more or less on their PrizePicks projected stats, and you can choose flex or power play. Now we are less than 3 days away from the MLB season opening up on opening day. And guess what? It's your last chance to get in on these season-long totals. And I want you to do it right now, because I'm telling you, I'm very certain of the top one and the bottom one on this one. So if you just want to go put a 2-man on, that's exactly what I would do. Ronald Acuna Jr., more than 37.5 season-long home runs. The Braves are going to be an exceptional team. Mookie Betts, obviously, the Shohei Ohtani stuff is coming out, but I still think he's going to go really insane. And then on top of which, KB is playing in Coors Field. He's going to hit more than 20 home runs. So go check it out. PrizePicks is also amazing because they offer an injury insurance policy. So say you got some basketball injuries going in and you have a player who exits the game in the first half and then doesn't return in the second, that player projection won't count against you and the rest of your injury will stay alive. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for that first deposit match of up to $100. Let's talk cap space here with L'Jarius Sneed and the Tennessee Titans. Now, they signed L'Jarius Sneed to the contract, obviously, of 4 years, $76 million. This was expected. This was a part of the trade agreement. You could not trade for L'Jarius Sneed without having a contract ready for him. Obviously, the Titans had that ready. 4 years, $76 million, 55 of it guaranteed. Checking on the statistics on Over the Cap and Spotrac, he will have the highest contract value in terms of cap space on the Titans next season. Now, he'll be right up next to the $23 million that we see Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley's, all of it is not going to hit his cap space. He's got signing bonuses in there. He's got money pushed back. There's a lot of different things that go with that. So L'Jarius Sneed will be the highest paid player as of right now, according to Over the Cap and Spotrac. Now, Titans do have $30 million still left in cap space, and so could Ran Carthon be looking to make some more moves to really bolster up the team more than he already has? Because I got to be honest, I think he's done a really fantastic job. There are 3 areas of concern that I still think need to be addressed, and the first one is the offensive line because, well, I just don't think you can put enough into that. I think you have to make sure that you really overhaul the offensive line. The defensive line really struggled after Danico Autry left to Houston. I feel like Jeffrey Simmons is the only guy there. Sebastian Joseph Day, I think, will be great, but I still feel like there's more work to be done. And then safety. The cornerback room is solid. The safeties, well, they need some help. We're going to get one free agent target from each of these positions. Let's start with offensive line, as that's the most important to me. David Bakhtiari, the offensive tackle, and the reason I have him is because tackle is the position of need for the Titans. They're going to get Joe Alt, who will likely play guard. They're going to have a couple of guys that they can easily switch around there. But with tackle, you kind of need somebody to really force that edge. And Bakhtiari, well, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's been blocking for some of the greatest quarterbacks, including Aaron Rodgers. Now, his PFF grade last year, pretty nice, 78.3. Well, the thing that I like, his pass blocking grade, 89.9. And that's what I'm focusing on a lot of these tackles because, listen, I'm glad you can block for running. That's great. But with Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard, they're a little bit more agile than Derrick Henry. So if there's not a hole, I trust that they will find some room and make it work. I don't think we're going to have the big runs we've seen from Derrick Henry, but I do think we'll have a solid running attack. Pass blocking, though, is important because we have to protect Will Levis. And I think this could be a good signing. I think overall, Bakhtiari has been really, really positive in a lot of different manners for Aaron Rodgers, for the Green Bay Packers. And I think if you look back at the tackles that the Titans have had and what they really need to succeed with Will Levis, Bakhtiari fits the mold. Now it's just about whether they actually try to pursue him. I know the Jets have thought about taking him on, so right now it's just a waiting game. The second one is on that defensive line. It's one we've talked about before, Emmanuel Ogbah, the edge. And I know people are going to say, well, he's old. He didn't play well this past year with the Dolphins. I don't know if I want him. 5.5 sacks isn't playing well, then I would like to take that any day of the week. He's also, at this point, you're probably looking at a pretty small contract. When you think about the guys who are still left, the only guys who I could see maybe getting a pretty substantial contract are Justin Simmons and Xavier Howard. Emmanuel Ogbah, I feel like, is a one-year type thing. And his stats over the past 4 years, I think they back up the way he has played. Now, the reason the defensive line needs its help, because Jeffrey Simmons, I'm going to say it right now, with Aaron Donald retiring, he is the second best defensive tackle in the NFL. And I really don't think it's close. So I think it's Chris Jones, him, and I don't really know past that if there's anybody that's going to be reaching up to that area. The thing is, though, the rest of the defensive line has to be helping out. The Nico Autry was an amazing, amazing weapon last year on the line, especially when Simmons got hurt. Right now, you don't really have anybody. Sebastian Joseph Day was a signing you made, but he wasn't a starter last year. He played 2 games. So what are you going to do? You're going to find somebody to be a starter? You're going to trust some guy who hasn't been a starter in over a year? We'll have to wait and find out. If I'm Ran Carthon, I'm making a signing. I mentioned him. Let's make him one of the top targets. Justin Simmons, the free safety. Listen, I know people may be mad about this or not, or maybe you really want him, but I think this would complete the secondary. If you got him, I don't care who your other safety is. I don't care what you're doing. This entire team is set up in the secondary well. You have Jeffrey Simons on the line. Your linebacker core is pretty decent with Kenneth Murray signing. I think there's still some holes you could fill there, but at the same time, you filled up your safety room to where I think it's going to be a little easier to lean on the secondary more than you would originally. Simmons this past year played, honestly, pretty dang well, and I am very, very surprised he has not signed with the team yet. 8 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. Yeah, the QB rating isn't great, a little higher than I'd like. The completion percentage, again, a little higher than I'd like. But at the same time, this guy has led the league in interceptions since he came in 2016, and yet he is not signed to a team. And it's not like he had a bad year last year. He had 3 interceptions. Now, obviously, compared to the rest of his career in the past couple years, it's not as much as he would like, but at the same time, it's not like it's a severe downgrade from 2022. I mean, you look at those stats, he was just 3 interceptions more then. I know that's double, but at the same time, 5 interceptions, 6 interceptions is really good. 3 interceptions is also pretty darn good. I truly do think that Simmons would be a great addition. And at this point, he's a 1-year contract that you can test out. If you like him, guess what? You can extend him for an extra year in the middle of the season. You can pay him some more. But I have to feel like now, because of the culture that Ran Carthon and Brian Callahan are creating, you're going to get these top guys wanting to come and play for you. And so pick one of the 3 that I have mentioned. Which one are you signing? Are you signing David Bakhtiari? Then type DB. And type in EO for Emmanuel Ogbah if you'd like him the most. Or is it the guy I mentioned last, and honestly the guy that I think I'd want the most, Justin Simmons? Let me know down in the comment section. JS for Justin Simmons, EO for Emmanuel Ogbah, DB for David Bakhtiari. You already know my answer. I'm going with Simmons. He's my favorite. I think that overall the safety room is the one that I think would more adequately help out this team, because I do trust in the fact that this offensive line will be loads better than last year, especially if they can get Joe Alt at pick number 7, or say they trade back, get Olu Fashanu, and they can get somebody else in the first round or second round with an extra pick, whatever they get for the trade back. I still do feel, though, that the safety room is not a good safety draft at all. There's only like 1 safety that is projected to be taken in the first round. There's nothing that piques my interest. I truly do feel like this is the position that you're going to need to have to go after in free agency or in trades. And there's one really solid one left. Go out, go get him. You have $30 million. I think at max, Simmons is costing you $15 this year. That's just half. You can save the rest for your draft class and call it a really, really good offseason. But unfortunately, my name is not Ran Carthon. My name is Jace Andrews, and I don't get to control the Tennessee Titans. But what I do get to control is Titans today. And so if you've enjoyed our show and you thought you want some more, you had not subscribed yet, well, hit that subscribe button because we're putting out great content every single day. We really do appreciate you, and say it with me in the comments. Tighten up. and peace out.